Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I'm back with another video here. Flyers lose 4-3 to the Toronto Maple Leafs here on the Thursday afternoon 2 o'clock game. Unfortunate on how this one ended. I thought the Flyers actually did pretty well for the first period, and they couldn't really get back to that game. And they just were flat. That's kind of the unfortunate part. Scored the first goal for like the 9th time this season, I believe, 9th or 10th. Actually played pretty well for most of the first period, and we're up. And just fell apart in the second period, and then too little, too late at that point. So. Lines for this one: Dreams like Frost Tippett, Farabee, Cates, Konechny, Hayes, Law, and Allison, Delorier, Brown, McEwen, Provorov, Ristolainen, York, and Braun, Sanheim, and D'Angelo. Carter Hart was in net for this one. Again, I was on stream for this. We did the watch party today for this game. What a huge success that was. I had an absolute blast doing that. So much fun. Really kind of rejuvenated my spirits a little bit. For making some content and stuff, and not like I wasn't having a good time before, but just, the overall, I guess my overall morale for the year has been pretty low. Obviously the team has struggled, and that is part of it, and they lose today, but I had a blast. I mean, we had people from all over the world watching in this, from Saskatchewan to Manitoba to California to South Carolina, and to Texas. It was a whole bunch of fun, a bunch of people from Philly, Jersey, everything. A bunch of Flyers fans coming together, watching the game on my YouTube. It was so fun. It really was. And I seriously can't thank you all enough. Today is also 8 years of me doing videos. And I've mentioned the story before. I haven't done it consistently for 8 years. I've done it here and there. And I was a kid. And when you're a kid, you're not always into everything for the longest period of time. And for me, it's a lot of fun. It is. I love doing this stuff, and I'm surprised that it still surprised me that people actually watch me today, see my opinion and everything too. So, again, I can't thank you enough, the listener here, for watching this, because truly it makes my day watching, and doing all these different things and all that stuff. But first period. Flyers score. First goal of the game. Tony DeAngelo, like I mentioned, on the power play. Flyers get a power play goal early. It was a really nice save by Hart beforehand on a Marner breakaway. And Flyers had a couple looks. Only had 3 shots in the period, though. They had a 2-on-1 from Frost and JVR that got broken up. Frost had a wraparound chance. Frost has played well. He's got goals in 3 games. He scored in this game. He had 2 points, a goal, and an assist. It wasn't credited to him that he got an assist, but he should have one, so I wouldn't be surprised if that got changed. It should get changed. If not, he has a goal. If he doesn't, it's a goal and an assist. But he should get an assist on that play. Tippett was stoned by Samsonov. It was a nice save, nice pass by DeAngelo just to find him. The Leafs had a couple chances late in this period. But besides that, pretty good period for the Flyers. I mean, I thought for the most part, you didn't take many penalties. You only had the one that carried over. And Delorier had a breakaway out of the box after that penalty kill. And I thought the penalty kill was good just in general, because you were able to limit Toronto with all the guys that they had. They went with 5 forwards on their power play. And you didn't give them too many chances. And unfortunately, that didn't bode well for the rest of the second period. 4-on-4 for a little bit. McEwen had a really nice play, just like dangling through the zone. It was a beautiful move. Allison had a play where he just missed the net high and wide. It was a pretty good start to the second period. I mean, they were defending well for the most part. They just needed more offense and chances and shots. And there was a scrum after the play. DeAngelo and Sanheim get into it. So it's 4-on-4. Ristolainen almost scored, almost first point of the season. Then here come the penalties. Frost with a hook. Then Flyers get a power play. It was a good kill overall. They just limited Toronto of majority of their chances. They had a good box, everything. They defended it well. Good penalty. Flyers they draw a power play. They had a couple looks late from Hayes. Shot ended up getting blocked out of play. They couldn't really get anything set up though towards the back half of the penalty, and then Farabee takes a holding penalty. Couple good clears, they limit chances, and then as the penalty expires, Yarn Croak scores the score. He ties it 1-1, and it was a tip from the high slot, and Provorov and Sanheim didn't pick up a stick. Stick was on the ice, tipped it by Hart. Then they get another one, leaves for pressure, and they had all sorts of chances, cycle, everything. They were all deep in the Flyer zone. Another penalty, Ristolainen has to take one, and it was a good penalty to take, but again, you're still taking a penalty. 2-1, Marner scores, and just like that, the game turned right around, and the Leafs were in the lead. Maybe 30, 40 seconds into the third, 3-1. Bunting scores in tight. All 5 guys are just standing there puck watching. Flyers had a good shift after that from the connecting line. They created some havoc, set up a chance for Farabee in tight. Frost almost went through everybody. Then the Flyers get a 5-on-3. Cates draws a penalty. And then for a minute 1, they get the 5-on-3. They had a chance in the slot, but that was it. Pretty bad entry by D'Angelo. It was actually a pretty fast entry by Frost, and Tippett just drove the net. So that gets killed off. As soon as the 5-on-3 ends, it's 4-1. Nylander scores, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And we're on stream, and it was funny because, like, I was behind. So everybody in the stream, and my dad downstairs was screaming, like, yeah, like, when they score or whatever, or like, just like cursing out of his mind when it was the Leafs would score. And we're behind, and I'm like, oh, dude, like, and then it's 4-2. Frost scores off the rush. It was a really nice play. Beautiful pass by D'Angelo. My God. I thought he was their best defenseman today. I thought York had a good game as well. I think York has just played really steady overall. I thought the Flyers in the first period, they did a good job of their forwards with support. And Lawton and Cates and connecting and other guys, Hayes, right? They were all in the mix of, leading the rush the other way. And in the second period, that kind of went away a little bit. They were stuck. They were too deep, and then the Leafs just kept adding on in the third. But they got one back from Frost, and then Farabee scores 2 goals in a minute 23. He scores 5-hole, and it's like, okay, maybe we'll get something here. Then the Flyers get a power play. Tippett, interference for minute 10, or with a minute 10 left. The Flyers already had the empty net. They pulled it like 2.5. 2.5 minutes left. They get the power play with a minute 10. So it's 6-on-4. They call timeout. Then they call this roughing on Farabee. I don't know how that's a roughing call. If anything, it should have been offsetting minors for an elbow and an embellishment, because that was nothing. Like, Farabee literally tapped Brody. Tapped him. And they call that roughing. Okay. So basically the game ends at that point. Flyers end up losing this one 4-3. And again, it's an unfortunate way to end the game, but you can't start games like that. You can't. I shouldn't really say start. I guess I should say you couldn't really play out games like that. Like, again, this is what I've been talking about. They only play for X amount of minutes, or this amount of time, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, whatever. And it's just not doable. You don't have the offense. You have no margin for error. And when you take penalties and you give a team that has the offense to put 5 forwards on their power play, Matthews, Marner, Bunting, Nylander, Tavares, like whoever you want to put out there for the Leafs. You could even have Riley, even though they didn't do that. You have no margin for error, and that was the biggest issue in this game. Hart was good. I liked D'Angelo. I thought he had a much better game than recent games. As for the forwards, I liked the Farabee, Cates connecting line early on. I thought it was their best line in the first period, and they did a little bit of tweaks and stuff. And I thought Frost had another good game. He's got 3 goals in his past 3 games. It's definitely a sign of what can be coming for him, and he's got, again, goals in 3 straight, and it's something you want to see for Frost. You don't want to, see him have these handful of points in these X amount of games, starting from the Arizona game where he had the 4 points and just continuing. So thank you everybody so much for today. I really do appreciate all the support from the live stream to the watch party. We have another one, January 14th. Flyers taking on the Capitals at 7 o'clock. We're doing the next watch party for that one. I'm super, super, super excited for that one. Today was such a huge success, and I can't thank you all enough for that. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Remember to click the like button as well. Check out the podcast. And again, we get the live streams coming up and all that stuff. Check out the Flyers fan club. Thank you guys so much for all the support. 8 years on YouTube and counting. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you all again soon.